I'm live. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening? Got a live video masterclass happening right now. What's up, Blake? If you're hearing me okay, go ahead and write something in the chat. Say what's up. It says like 20 people waiting. It's always that awkward thing where you're like, oh, who's on? Do I talk? What's up, Blake? Thank you.
Sounds good.
Ravine. Man, I wish we could make it like 65 degrees in here. I was cozy and comfortable until I sat behind these lights. All right. Well, if anybody's been on these before, they're kind of driven by you guys. We can talk about video editing. We can talk about what makes videos go viral, or basically anything you guys want to talk about, because the whole point of these is to help you guys out and help you make more money, make more videos, get more clients, and see where how I can help you do that. So being that Blake and Ravine are the ones writing in the comment box, do you guys have any questions you want to get this kicked off with, or I can just ramble for the next 2 hours? I'm good at that. It's a skill. It's a life skill I've developed over the last few years. Because the secret to making good videos is to not stop talking. Or we can take questions. So I know there's a little lag, so don't everybody rush to the question box at once. We're gonna wait. That's why, this is why our lives are so awkward when you watch them afterwards, because it's like nobody comes firing away. Maybe like that's the hack that we got to do is like preload all your questions in the chat box. So you come on and you're not like, what do I do? So I guess we can take this off until questions come in, because there's 17 people watching. What are you guys watching? You don't have no questions? It's hot behind these lights. I'm going to cook here for the next hour and 40 minutes. Oh, Ravine, what do we got here? What is the best way to convert Instagram followers to customers? Well, I can't share my screen, so I'm might do that in a second here. The best way to, first off, I guess the blanket question is, how many followers do you have? Because if you have a small amount of followers, it doesn't make sense to turn them into customers yet, because you need to grow. And this is where I think a lot of people get messed up. They immediately come in and they start selling, and they eventually run out of people to sell to. It's like if you have 1,000 followers, by nature, you start selling to 1,000 people, then maybe, let's say, 200 people watch your video. Of those 200, maybe 10 people comment. Of those 10 people comment, let's say you hit up each one individually. Let's say you book one phone call to sell a singular product, and maybe one phone call buys and you get lucky. But the reality is you need to have a higher volume. And most people come right in really quickly and start selling. And that's kind of, in my opinion, that's the wrong thing to do. I think you should build a follower base first and then sell to them later. And usually nobody wants to hear that, because that usually requires people to have a job or another way of making money while they build their social media audience. That's not saying that you can't position yourself as an authority, but to have a product or have a service, it's much easier to sell, and you will make all the money back from not selling when you have 100,000 followers. And I live and die by that, because I didn't sell anything on my Instagram account for like 3 years. I just posted content videos every day, and in 2 weeks I made $100,000. Made it worth it, right? But point being is, I think people sell too soon. So I think you should focus. If you have a smaller, I think if you have less than like 10,000 followers, you should not think about selling anything to them. You should immediately start trying to grow your audience, because honestly, you probably the 10,000 followers you have don't even really know what they want to buy from you yet. Because a lot of people mess up the offer. They just make something and then they try to sell it to their followers. And in reality, the followers over time will tell you what they want to buy from you. And that's where I think there's a lot of people that do this correctly. And that's why certain people make money with this and other people don't. But the offer is crucial. If you don't have a good offer, nobody's going to buy it. If you don't have anybody to sell it to, nobody's going to buy it. So it's like kind of choose your battle. What do you want to get first? And in my opinion, it's much harder to grow a following than it is to make a product. I mean, shit, I could have charged for this tonight, charged like $10, and maybe 100 people would have bought it with a payment link. It's very easy to sell something. It's very hard to grow a following. So I hope that was. And I guess we can talk about how to grow a following right now. The only way to grow a following is to make content that gets reach. And this is, again, where most people mess up. They focus solely on niche-based content. That's not saying niche-based content is bad, but you need to like diversify. If you look at my page and everything that we're doing, there's a ton of content going on. What are we posting, Luis? 3 times a day right now, plus my vlogs?
Yeah. Sometimes recently you don't see it because of trials.
Yeah, we're posting a lot on trial reels too, but the reality is you need a minimum of posting every single day to even think about growing on social media right now. And I think that a lot of people would maybe argue that. They say the quality over quantity. Most people arguing that already have a following. Most people that are trying to grow need to figure out what that quality of theirs looks like, and they need to just post a lot of videos, like interview people, do podcasts, make talking head videos, do day in the life, do behind the scenes. Like, you need to just put a bunch of shit out and hope it works. And then when something does work, you double down, if not triple down on that. I mean, I found out early on that street interviews worked very well for me, and they still do. So I did a lot of them. I flew around the country interviewing people, and I still do that. I'm actually going to Vegas in like 2 days to interview more people. So I hope that was helpful. But then once you have followers, generally they like you and they'll buy whatever you sell them, provided it's of need, of something that they want. Like, a lot of people want me to sell editing courses. I personally don't do that because it might come as a surprise to you all that watch this. I am not a very great video editor. I'm very good at the basics, and I'm going to talk about those tonight. And I can show you guys some of the stuff that I do to make sure I have really good videos. But I don't know how to do any animations. I don't even know how to use Premiere Pro. I'm not even good at using CapCut. But I employ like 20 editors, so I don't really have to. I don't know how many. 20 is a lot. What do we have right now? I'm lying. How many people am I paying right now? Dre might know. How many people have weird names that I don't know that I pay? That are great people and they're killing it for me, but
at least 6.
Yeah, so we got about 6 overseas VAs that work under one of my guys, Dre. He's back here, Dre with the Y. He's behind the camera. You can't see him because I see his teeth. He's smiling right now. I know. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get canceled. But and then Luis manages and 2 editors. Most of my main lead team manages multiple editors a piece. But I currently employ a lot of editors, and they all know how to use Premiere Pro and CapCut really, really well. But I know how to do the basics of video editing, which I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. What's up, Steven? Dude, if anybody doesn't follow Steven does some savage stuff in Instagram stories. He's a beast, and his content is amazing. And he probably agreed with everything I said about Steven. Built a really good following first, and then started selling stuff to them. And I could be wrong, Steven, but I'm sure you probably agree with that. Look style videos to build authority. Is that still play? I think a lot of people are blind to talking head videos. Like, even the fact that I'm sitting in this chair right now, I know this is long form and I'm going to be talking for a while, but I think the talking heads are just played out. And I have to say that, my company Viral Edits posts like 3,000 videos or so a month. We probably contributed to that over the last 3.5 years. And that's not saying that you can't do them. They do establish a certain level of authority. But what's working now is like the more dynamic style content where you're out in the public, where you're on the streets, you're behind the scenes. It's like you could pretend to set up an entire video shoot and just film everything with your phone. And I guarantee that behind the scenes will do better than whatever's coming out of the main camera. Like, that's what I see working really well right now. And if you see, we have a client, Nate Barger. We flew to Ohio to film with him for 2 days. And we normally do, excuse me, I'm burping. I know that's probably gross, but that's real life. But we spent 2 days filming in Ohio with Nate Barger, one of my clients, and we didn't sit down once. We spent 4 hours in Menards, Luis. We went to Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot. I am still shocked that we did not get kicked out of any of them. And it was like a group of us. Like, it was like myself, Luis, Nate's son, Nate's daughter, and Nate. Like 5 of us rolling deep into these hardware stores, filming in every aspect with cameras and phones. Like, it was not subtle whatsoever. And we just filmed. And all those videos, you go to his page, are doing very well, as opposed to him just sitting there talking to the camera. Because there's something that hits better. It's like you could talk about something to the camera like this, or you could talk to the camera and show pictures. Yeah, that's going to hit a little bit harder. You could talk to the camera and show B-roll. It's going to do okay. But you could physically do it while talking to the camera. It's just going to hit so much harder. And it also builds that trust. And Stephen, to kind of piggyback what you're saying with authority, I think people want to see people doing things. People want to see people doing things, not just talking about it. Because that's where the trust comes in, and that's where authority is built. Authority is built off trust and influence. So people trust, arguably my daily vlogs right now are my highest converting content on my page because they literally show the behind the scenes of what I do and my life, which up until like a year ago wasn't really that interesting. And now it's pretty interesting. So I know people get messed up. They're like, well, what do I film if it's not interesting? And I made a post. The more you get good at filming uninteresting things, the more interesting things come to you to film. And that usually happens after a period of what my good friend Adley talks about is 100 shitty videos. And we actually own the domain 100shittyvideos.com. There's nothing there, but Luis likes to buy domains. Whereas like I like to go shopping while intoxicated at night. Luis buys domains and does nothing with them. But we're working on that. So I hope that was helpful with that. But I think the BTS, the actual doing of things, if you can position yourself in a way that you can record a lot of that or build a team or, for lack of a better, have a friend to help you do that. Maybe you find another content creator in your area and you guys become best friends. And then collabing. Like collabing is huge. Borrowed authority is a real thing. Like a lot of my initial following was built off me going and making good videos and people accepting the collabs. And I still think that's probably the fastest way anybody's ever going to grow, especially on Instagram. I wish TikTok would get their shit together and make a collab feature there. But for the most part, most everybody on this call only cares about Instagram anyways. And Instagram's like everybody's little firstborn child. Like, and if Instagram ever went away, some businesses will be fucked. But so would mine, for that matter. I'm not even gonna lie. Right. Let's do. But Stephen, to answer your question, and everybody that's listening, I just think that there needs to be a variety of the feed too. Like if you're only shooting talking heads and you have a beautiful set, that is easy for somebody to come in and recreate and copy. Like that's the fact. Anybody can make a pretty set like this. Like this might look big, but it's like literally we're in a square corner. Like, yeah, Luis will zoom out so you can see how non-pretty this actually looks when you zoom it out. Like, you know, yeah, I think it is pretty. I spent a lot of time building this, so I like to use it. But if I could just go live while flying, I'd probably get more views. What's up, Andrew? Mong? I don't want to say your name wrong. I apologize. I've been doing your daily video challenge. Greatly appreciate you for that. Should we tag you in the post itself for the story? Whatever you want, man. I'm seeing them all. I like seeing tags. You know, but if you tag me, I may talk about it. And if it's not great, I may tell you how to improve it, and it might come on a live training or something.
You have a roasting session.
Yeah, I don't like to. I feel like I get a bad rap because I can be very aggressive with my speech and my talking, but it's like all big brotherly love. Like, because I wish people told me the shit I did like 5 years ago, what sucked and what didn't. So I didn't just waste my time. I think a lot of people, as you mature and get older, you're like, dude, just tell me if I suck. Like I had a meeting with my business coach this morning, and I said, what am I not doing? Where am I sucking right now? Like, and a lot of people's egos get in the way of that. But it's but yes, I mean, tag me in the video, post on the story. I want to see dope videos. If it's dope, I will probably share it. I need to get better at that. For those of you guys, should just ask Luis to share it because he's in my. I don't like to go in my Instagram. You know, I have to be in like a certain headspace because what a lot of you guys don't know, when you start getting millions of views, those comments can be brutal. And they mess with your head. They cause me to go in like creative ruts, and that's just the reality of getting a lot of views. So I have to be in a certain place to like go in and just hang out on my Instagram. So that's a problem that you eventually will probably get if you get a lot of views and grow. But right now, I would not stress about that. Steven might deal with that problem so far. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to call anybody out, but I know Steven's got a really sizable audience.
Can you give them like a 10-step checklist on how to make their vlogs?
A day in the life. Well, let me go through some of these questions. I'll warm everybody up into the sharing of the screen. I should have transferred. So I've had 2 laptops now. I haven't committed to one, and like half of my vlog is on this because I just traveled for the last 4 days, and the other half is on this. So I need to figure that out. Let's see. But Andrew, keep doing the daily. I know we put the 100 videos together just to help people get started. But another easy thing to do is just do a day in the life every day. And it will be hard. Like if anybody noticed, I have missed the last 4 days, and I'm going to stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning night editing those vlogs after this is over, because like I make that commitment with myself. But now I'm like, oh, what do I do? Because now the days don't match up, and I don't even know what. I have messed up like 7 of the days. I don't even know what day 34, day 35. I have no clue. The second January 31st turned into February 1st, my counts started getting messed up because I'm like, February 1st is day 32, 33. So, but either way, it's the habit of creating that most people don't get into. Let's see. Caitlin said, or Jacob says, editing style for B2B corporate videos. Well, if you have clients, which it sounds to me like you do if you're doing B2B, B2B is about 5 years behind what actually works on the internet. So you're going to have to do videos that pay your bills and then videos that help people grow or help yourself grow. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to say like, you know, hype videos are a thing because businesses will pay $500,000 for them. Wedding videos are still a thing. Baffles me. Like, I don't know why people pay an absurd amount for those because like now everybody can film their shit. Wow, it got really dark out there. The lights just went off. I feel like they shut this whole building down after like 5 p.m. Let's see. But editing software B2B, you're going to have to do the consistent talking heads. You're going to have to talk to the employees. You're going to have to talk to the founders, the owners, and all the people there, get their story. But you want to, if you could, do a day where you just hung out in their building and film the behind the scenes of the day-to-day. I think that would hit much harder than the talking head stuff. And a lot of what you got to do with clients, especially like talking to clients is a skill in itself because automatically once you land a client and you take that money, now it's like your job to keep that client. Like, and arguably, I think it's easier to get a new client than to keep a client for a year because they're emotional, their mood swings, and ultimately they're normal people. And if you're charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, you are an expense to them. And they are looking for an ROI. They're looking for money to be made from what they are spending their money on. You know, ultimately, you have to do a good job before you accept that money to set the expectation of what to expect over the course of, like, let's say they work with you for a year or 90 days or even 30 days, or if it's just one video, what can they expect from this video? So it's up to you to kind of lay out that roadmap for them. But the reality is B2B, I would just, again, do a mixture of all of their talking head stuff because that's going to look professional. You probably got lights, you set them up, make them look all pretty. You know, the girls are probably going to have a makeup day. They're going to look pretty when they come in. But then I would encourage you to go outside of that and also film the BTS. And I would bet money the BTS is going to outperform the stuff that's very professional looking. I hope that was helpful, Jacob. Caitlin says, I'm having videos overperform on TikTok and YouTube and perform poorly on IG or Facebook for my business account. What's your advice? That's just the reality of the game. Like, I feel like platforms come in waves. The beauty is we have like 5 of them to mess with. You know, when my TikTok is down, a lot of cases my Instagram is up. When my Instagram is down, my TikTok's up. When Instagram and TikTok are shit in the bed, my YouTube's up. So it's like ultimately we have a saying, and I know Luis reminds me of this all the time, is we just have to just keep posting. Post through it. You got to post through the bad times.
I want to look at the analytics for a week.
Yeah, and look at your analytics. Also, if the videos are doing bad, like let's say the last 9 to 10 days, or like if you're posting daily, like the last 2 weeks, expand out the time horizon. And this is something Hermosi talks about a lot. Look at it from like a 90-day span. Like, because your month could be bad, but your 90 days could be amazing. And if your 90 days could be bad, but your year could be amazing. So I would encourage you to kind of post to where you get it. That's why I think 100 videos is like a really good baseline to operate from, because you have enough videos to make what I would consider educated guesses as to what videos are going to do good. And you can always look at the videos that are overperforming. I mean, in some cases that could be, you know, instead of 500 views a video, it could be you get one that gets 6,000. That's a winner. Like, that beat out all of your last 10 videos. Look at that video, study it. How long was it? What was the hook? Where was the location? What was being said? What was the tonality? What type of video was it? We do that more than anything. We probably over-examine all the videos that perform. And that's what you just keep doubling down on and tripling down on once it starts working. But yes, Caleb, try not to get stuck on that and keep posting. Like, I think a lot of things could be solved by just posting more. Like, hope that was helpful. Remy said, I'm challenged with getting my first agent account with my first 1,000 followers. Feels actually way harder than getting the next 9,000. Tips on how to get an account off the ground. Post. The only thing you're like, there is like zero, like, I know Gary Vee kind of harps on this, and I hate quoting Gary Vee, even though he's right a lot of times. you have to post and post a lot. Like the quality over, I just don't believe in it. We're posting like 4 times a day. How many, we post like 50 videos to trial reels, Luis?
20-ish.
I told Luis to post 100. I was like, post 100 to the trial reels, see what happens. You got to be willing to burn it all down too to see what happens. That might just be me. I don't know. I like to test the waters. Let's see. Andrew, respect, brother. Appreciate you. I hope that was helpful, Caitlin. Let's see. What we got? Tom the Mower Man. I like it. I'm going to assume you mow lawns. That's great content. So soothing. Tips to grow on Instagram. Any algorithm tips for an 18-year-old personal brand? I mean, if you're in the mower man, just mow lawns. That's really, mow a lot of lawns. There's so many different accounts of people that mow lawns for free just to film videos. They probably get tipped more than they would get paid if they got charged too. But that's like, again, there's no magic to the algorithm. The algorithm wants retention and it wants people to watch videos. And if you just keep focusing on that and keep getting better at like, how do I make this video feel smoother, get people to watch it longer? And there is no magic editing tips. It's just like, you got to watch it like a human being and watch it like, well, does that make sense? Does that 2 seconds make sense after the previous 2 seconds, after the previous 2 seconds? And eventually you got a 47-second video and you're like, everything makes sense. It flows and it holds somebody's attention. Because I promise, if you can hold people's attention, like, I mean, there's this really big YouTuber, I think his name is Mr. Beast. That's all he focuses on, is retention. Like, it's hard to argue the results of that guy. He's even holding my attention on hour-long Amazon Prime shows now. I can't stop watching the Beastscapes. Amazing. Like, he's just good at the production. Let's see. But Tom, I mean, if you're not mowing during the winter, okay, that is a valid excuse. I usually don't like excuses, but yes. So in the meantime, well, shit, I mean, you might need to take a trip to Florida and mow some lawns, bro. We got sun year round down here. Like, but if you know that you have downtime in your content, like in Tom, in your case, there's a certain part of the year where you cannot mow, then you need to prepare for that. And, backlog your content to where you have things to post. Or in this case, I would tell you to talk to the camera, because, talking head content's better than no content. So you gotta work with what you have. So I don't want to have you like, I don't believe in excuses, but like that is a valid excuse. And, but I'm assuming you probably have B-roll and things that you can talk about. And you just have to get good at intertwining that B-roll with what you're talking about. Let's see. Not moving. Candace, thank you for the tips. When you analyze overperforming posts, what factors do you look at with your team to try to recreate Sesrata? The first thing is the hook. Like, is the hook repeatable? We've given away a ton of hooks, especially in like the daily 100 videos. Like, as simple as what's something weird that insert anything. Like, you want to look for commonalities and hooks. And if a hook works on one video, it's most likely going to work on another video. And how many times can you recreate that hook? That's like an easy win for you to notice. But then also look at how long the video was. Is it shorter or is it longer? Like, I think people don't focus on that. Like, if a video underperforms, it could just be that it needs to be shorter. Because by nature, if it's shorter, retention goes up. A 30-second video with a 50% retention is going to perform better than a 1-minute video with a 10% retention. And vice versa. So it's like, how long is the video? And, and then it's just the retention. Like, TikTok is way better than Instagram because they show the exact second that most people like drop. But the reality is, Instagram is getting better. They show that, but I really like TikTok's analytics over Instagram's even to this day. Even though Instagram's trying, I got to give them credit. They had a glimmer of hope when TikTok was going to get banned. But I mean, who knows? It could still go away tomorrow. But that's like, it's the hook. It's the length of the video. And then just how does the video flow? Like, where did people leave? Did something happen that causes them to leave? Was there like shaky footage? Was there bad audio? Did it just not make sense? Or could that video be cut more to be faster? Like, I would think that, what did you say, Louis? Said 9 out of 10, that's probably what we look at the most, right?
Yeah, a lot of tone.
Yeah, and tonality too. That's a big one. Like, sometimes the hook could just be, it would be better to have the hook that was at the end of the video because maybe the person in the video got really excited and started talking loud. Whereas in the beginning of the video, they were talking kind of like this, and that's not saying that a monotone type of video can't perform well, but it's very easy to get somebody's attention if the energy is high in the beginning of the video. Again, using Mr. Beast as an example, does that guy ever talk low? No, he's super excited every fucking video, or it's very authoritative and commanding. Like the tonality and the conviction within the first 3 to 5 seconds will beat out any hook per se. But I would say if you focus on those things, but really it's the first like 5 seconds. If the video doesn't perform, it's probably the first 5 seconds. And I know we post a lot of videos, and that's why we're able to see a lot of data. And it's usually the intro sucks. And that's it. You lose people. That's the only, unlike, I would say you have a little more runway on like a long form YouTube video, even though I think the first minute is very important. You can mess up and fumble a little bit, but on short form, you literally have like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and somebody's like, fuck this, I'm gone. That's it. You don't have any time. Let's see. Trey said, do you have any tips for having podcast clips go viral? We crush with vlog style content, but podcast clips never seem to hit. Podcast clips, same thing. It's the hook. Like it is every time. Is there a back and forth conversation? Is the hook strong? Most podcast clips are extremely hard to get to go viral based on the fact that usually the people talking are very monotone the whole time because it's more of a conversation. So what I would encourage you to do if you're clipping podcasts and you're looking for the moments, don't even look at the video. Just look at the sound bar. You can download a video from YouTube or the podcast, a long file, put it in your editing software and look at all the audio bars. And wherever there's spikes in the audio, that's where I would look for hooks because that usually means somebody got excited. I would say that that's the most important part of a podcast clip. And then is it a complete thought too? Some podcast clips just like they start good, but then they fizzle out because they're not like a complete video. And that's hard because especially if you're not a skilled podcast host or a podcast like speaker, like if you're not used to it, like when I go on podcasts, every time I talk, I envision that being a clip. So like I say it like a hook and I start talking like I'm talking on short form. Hard part about that is to do that for an hour and then do that for 2 hours or 3 hours. So like even I'm not going to say I'm the best at it because, my interviews are still the things that go viral. And that's what I focus on. When I ask questions, I think of them as hooks.
You don't control the questions.
Yeah. And on podcasts, you don't control the questions. Louise added that. It's true because you have no idea where the conversation is going, So, and also people don't look at podcasts from what we call like a dynamic standpoint. They look at podcasts from a very linear standpoint. They watch it start to finish and they start clipping. Like it's a puzzle. You got to build those clips. Like if you want them to go viral, like that's what we focus on. That's what we've gotten really good at in my company. But still, it's a volume thing. Like we don't do that every time. Like it's, 1 out of 10 might hit. The other 9 shit the bed. But when you're posting thousands of videos, that adds up.
I feel like that's where like mirroring, like body language happens a lot.
Yeah, Luis is like mirroring body language. Like if you can control if you're like producing the podcast, like if you're behind the scenes and you want to like get them to be better, this is where you got to kind of like direct a little bit while not interrupting the flow of the conversation. And most good podcast hosts do that. Like they direct themselves. Like you look at Modern Wisdom podcast, Chris is great at it. When he asks questions, they're very straightforward. They're very clear. They're great hooks. And they usually are intriguing. You want to get people talking with emotion. And that's where you got to kind of dig deeper and not go for like surface level stuff. Like, is that? Yeah. I had a podcast where Inside True Crime with Matthew Cox. I mean, we've had a lot of videos from that podcast hit from my own account. I mean, I did put a lot of prep into that podcast because partially it was out of my comfort zone to talk about criminal activities that I've done my whole life. So I was like, what do I want to talk about? What stories do I want to share? And I kind of in my head before I even got on that podcast, I had everything written out, like all my stories and the bullet points of those stories that I wanted to touch on. And I didn't bring that with me. Like, it wasn't like I didn't have like a script, but I had rehearsed it because, I mean, that podcast was planned for about like 2 or 3 weeks prior to me doing it. So I was able to go, okay, I want to get good clips out of this. how am I going to talk about these things? What am I going to talk about? What details I want to make sure that I add in there? And then when I got on the podcast, I brought energy, and then I complete thoughts too.
And we were able to ask him questions at the end.
Yeah, and I was able to ask him questions at the end. I kind of turned the tables. And I'm not saying a lot of people might not have that capacity to do that. Because of my history on like my content, he kind of allowed me to do that. That's where like my personal brand weighed into. He kind of wanted me to ask him questions, and his producer wanted me to ask him questions. And those turned into really good clips. Let's see. Remy said, Tom Moritz and moving to Florida to network and scale my clippings. Hell yeah. Bro, it's always sunny here. I mean, we do have some hurricanes though. They can fuck up your life without realizing it. But I mean, hey, you could have ice storms and snowstorms and the same shit happens. So let's see. What would you do if you had a new client who had no followers? Would you just offer to post like 5 times a day? How would you get results fast for clients if you're limited to a certain volume? Well, again, you got to kind of know what you're getting into with clients. If it's a brand new account, brand new client, I would not come at them and be like with these grand aspirations of what is possible. You got to be real with clients. And I think that a lot of people are scared to be real because they're like, I don't want to lose this client. But I think we're in an age now where like a lot of business owners, they're being lied to. They're being promised things that most people can't sustain. Like even us, we have an offer called the Viral Accelerator, which is where people come to my studio here and we film 100 videos in a day. I do put a bold guarantee on that, but it's based off statistics. We're going to film 100 videos. My goal is to just get them one video that gets 1 million views. And I know statistically in the past, if we film 100 videos with somebody over the course of a day, we know that 5 to 10 are usually going to do significantly better than the rest. And we kind of recognize those when they're spoken to kind of know, okay, these are the good videos. These have legs, let's focus on these. We film multiple hooks for those, and we kind of try to get those videos to work. Now, again, that does come with a little experience that we have just from doing this. I mean, I've been filming hundreds of videos in a single, sessions for the last 4 years, so that's like not hard for me. So you got to kind of work up to that, but I think it comes with expectations. But again, it's high volume. Like if you need to get to 100 videos as fast as possible so you can find out what works. So if your client doesn't want to post 100 videos, it's probably not going to be a good long-term client anyways. So you got to kind of, again, I would urge, you guys to not be afraid to say no to a client, because I promise you, if you say no to them, they're probably going to want to work with you more. So that's my tips there, but just be real with them. Be like, hey, how many times a day does like a good question to ask them is who do they follow and who do they watch on the internet? Because most people, like if they're watching Hermosi, if they're watching Gary Vee, if they're watching like myself, if they're watching, like a Dan Martell, or like if they're watching other big creators, look at how many times we're posting. Look at the effort that's being put in. If they're not going to bring that same effort, they can't expect those same results. What's up, Blake? Thanks for the $5. Woo! I forgot that. I'm glad we. I had like funny story about YouTube. I had like $2,000 in super chat money that just disappeared because when YouTube, they mail you a code to your address and you have to type that code physically into your account. Well, they mailed it when I was displaced from the hurricane. Never saw that mail, and it became a big deal trying to get that money. I still haven't got it. I don't think it's coming, but you know what? Life goes on. Let's see. So Remy, I hope that was helpful. But you can never go wrong with just starting to post one video a day. If somebody's posting no videos, just get them on the momentum of one video a day. There's a guy who's on the floor above me here at my studio, and I've been helping him. He's a real estate guy, and I've been helping him with his content, just telling him what to do. And he's at like 45 videos, and he already got a deal. His videos are getting like 300 views. So he's like, fuck, this is amazing. So but it came, and he was like, it came just from the consistent posting.
That's been happening with Thomas too. I think that's a real estate thing.
Yeah, we have another. That's a real estate thing. We have another client. His name's Thomas. Like same thing. Just the consistency of posting. Things will happen because one of my business coach Gary, we do his content as well. And once he started posting, he was like, "Dude, I re-signed 2 clients just because they started seeing my videos in their feed again. They were already friends, but he started popping up more." And he was able to get business from it. So like there is a lot of power in the consistency. And this is where I'm like, I know I as a person and my company, we focus on the virality, but there is something to be said for just being consistent. Let's see. It was a long-winded rant. I'm sorry. Was that?
Organic retargeting.
Yeah, Louis said it's organic retargeting. If anybody's familiar with ads, like a following you've already built generally just needs to see you a few times before they take action. And if you're posting videos every day, your current follower base, no matter how big or small, is going to start seeing your stuff. That's not every video, and they don't show all your videos to all your followers, but people see. Right? And if they watch one style of video from you, they're going to get served other styles of videos from you. Awake above me said, "What's your SOP for hiring video editors for your agency?" I wish I had a great answer for that. I do. It's really hard to find great editors. My best strategy is to pay my current editors more so they don't leave.
It's kind of like hiring failed creators.
Yeah, I don't like to use that. I know I use that word internally, but I have the best video editors you can hire are people that are creating currently for themselves. And there's a couple reasons why this works. And what I mean by that is you want to find people that fall into, I would say, the 10,000 followers to 50,000 follower range. Reason being is they're probably not making a whole lot of money. And if you're willing to pay a good salary or a good per video rate or a good consistent work, they are already familiar with creating on the platform. So they're going to already kind of know all the logistics and all the nuances that make just straight up video editors really bad. Right. And I think there's a difference there. And there is downsides to hiring creators per se, because creators, if they get big, they might leave. That could happen, because most of the time, the best video editors also create for themselves in addition to editing for other people and clients. Like I still edit my daily vlogs. They're creating. Like I enjoy to create. I enjoy making videos get views. I get mad if I make a certain number of videos and they don't get views. Like it bothers me that I haven't had the daily vlog go viral yet. I will get one, So that's like. But then when it comes to SOPs, do they understand the platforms? I think that weighs over everything. Just do they understand? Have they posted videos before? Have they gotten comments? Do they understand how positive and negative comments work? Do they understand retention? Do they understand? It's not who can just make all the video editors just send folders of here's all the videos I made. That does nothing. I could care less if you've made a lot of videos. I want to know, has any of those videos gotten more than 10 views? Or which video are you proud of? Which video did you make that failed and made you mad? You got to find, and then why do you think it failed? Most people are not asking those questions, especially when it comes to video editors. And that's kind of what we try to do. It is a little bit it's hard. You got to kind of the first thing I do when I hire anybody is I look at their Instagram. If they have videos, and they don't have to be great videos, it's just are they trying? Are they trying to make videos? Because there's something to be said for people that make videos and they don't make any money. It's a character trait. It means that they do something for the act of doing it without the expectation of getting paid. Those are the people you want working for you. Because for the most part, if you're building a following, you're going to do a lot of shit and not get paid. That's I know that was a very long-winded, non-descriptive SOP. Right? I mean, we have checklists and things, but the editors don't follow them. Nobody looks at them. Anything corporate kind of goes out the window for creative agencies and businesses, in my opinion. I would not say that I'm strong at operations, though. Getting there. It's a passion of mine. Let's see. Lowest Body by You said, I'm trying to hire more editors. What platforms I use to find it? I mean, Instagram is like, I mean, the last guy, Dennis, he did like 20, how many? He probably did like 10 to 12 daily vlogs, tagging me in every single daily vlog asking for a job. And then he lived in Daytona, and I said, why don't you come to the studio? And he drove 3 hours to head out of the studio. That was it. We're starting to work. I'm starting to send him some work. I think we're going to in like upcoming week. Like, that's how he got my attention. Now, I'm not saying don't everybody go do that. It's not gonna be an every person thing. Like, but that's the type of person that I would rather, like, even if his edits weren't that good, there's something to be said for that character. That's it.
He was not weird. He wasn't weird.
And also, he wasn't a weird guy. I don't know if he's on here. Dennis, shout out. Like, he wasn't weird when he came here. That's another thing. I think video editors are weird. Like, they're usually by themselves behind their computers. Their social skills are lacking. And the internet is not helping that right now. I understand it's hard out there in the streets to make friends, but like, you know, if you come work for my company, I have to be okay with you hanging out and being in the same room as like a Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, or like any of our clients. Like, they're some of the biggest. I gotta be like okay with like, hey, if I leave the room and go to the bathroom, are the people in this room gonna fuck this up for me? Like, by saying something awkward or weird.
It's like we're Hooters. We gotta get attractive people.
Yeah, I don't.
That's good. The brand.
Yeah, you gotta have an idea of like what, like, you know, there's editing agencies that are like, yeah, I hire cheap editors and we make cheap videos, and if that's what you're going for, then that might work for you. That's gonna be low prices and high churn. Like, my company is high prices, long-term client value. As far as like, I need an LTV of a year, or else it's not worth it for us to start working with somebody. And what that means is they stay a client for a year. And that's unheard of in this world, like, especially when it comes to video agencies. They're in the high churn, you know. I mean, I see people running ads for like, I got 150 clients. I'm like, how the fuck are you managing that? Like, that is some poor video quality happening. But hey, some people want that. Let's see. So Los, I mean, Instagram is probably your best bet. Or YouTube. Find those creators at that 10,000 follower mark that have made a bunch of videos and try to snag them before they go big. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Courtney? Courtney's coming to film with us at the studio, I think, next month. So looking forward to it. Let's see. Trey started clients from 0 on TikTok 2 months ago. Posted every day, a couple of vids that led to 2,000 followers from both platforms. Good job. Yeah, consistency. Oh, I got a lot of questions. I'm like behind here. Huh? Let's see. First live, Blake. Yeah, I know. I commented on his $5 and I totally skipped over it. I apologize, Blake. How do you mix education and entertainment to grow? I'm not sure how much I should be doing of each. I would separate them. I would have my educational videos and my entertaining style videos. Yes, there's going to be a crossover, but it's hard to do both. I would treat entertainment videos to grow, to get exposure, and education for the people that are interested to come back and learn more. And that could be you only entertain on the short form platforms. And you do things like this. Like, there's not a lot of tech involved in going live on YouTube for 2 hours. There's not. So that would be my suggestion. If you can do entertaining videos that also have lessons that can be intertwined, yes, those are going to drive more followers, but at the end of the day, it's really hard. And there's a lot of competition. Let's see. Pursue Podcast said, my videos aren't hitting. How many attempts for trying something new format, new style? Andrew, I knew that picture looked familiar. I like the blue background stands out. Profile pics matter. Mine's like emo as fuck now. Like all black. So how, like, I don't want to say, like, I've had videos where I, like, when I started Viral Edits and we were like going hard, like, I mean, I edited an Adley video like 12 times to get, and then on the 12th time, it got like 50 million views. I think it comes down to like, you have to have a feeling like this is a good video. Like, inherently, you're like, I know this will do good. And like the things that lead to knowing that are, we've had, you know, I saw a similar clip get views, or a similar story got views, or we've done this video in the past and it did well. So I would kind of focus on that. Let's see, over just like grinding to get a clip to work. But usually, man, I'm telling you, it's the hooks. I know everybody, like every content coach preaches hooks, but I don't know that they actually understand hooks. Like the first 5 seconds truly matters, no matter what kind of clip it is. Let's see. So I would say 3 to 5 times. If you give something 3 to 5 times, Andrew, I think it's a good, what do they call it, a college try? Or is that like an old person? Is that old for me to say that?
He does podcasts with some big people, so he sees a lot of.
Yeah, and you work with a lot. Are you? I don't know if you're still. I know you're getting more clients, but like you've seen shit that works. So like you use that intuition and lead that into how much you're gonna try to make whatever clip you're working on work. Like I before changing styles is something we battle a lot. Changing styles if you're doing like high volume editing, if you have an agency, is really hard. It causes all kinds of bottlenecks in your company. Like to just be like, all right, we're not doing talking head anymore. Well, now you're on the go and you're getting 30-minute files, and the editors don't know how to handle that. So like if you change big things, they require more effort and work to kind of iron out the kinks. So changing styles would be the last thing that I would change. Like changing the hook or the intros or the structures is the first thing I would change. Let's see. Remy said we start our packages at minimum daily content. Yeah. Oh, yeah, did coaching with Logan. Love Logan. That's dope. Media scaling. Let's see. What would you say? Cordy said, what would you say as quality or quantity? It can be hard to tackle both. Well, you're going to get a mixture of both, Cordy, when you film with us, because you film 100 videos, you're going to get both. You're going to get a lot of shitty videos. That's just transparently. But you're going to get like 10 that are really good. But those 10 wouldn't come without the other 90 shitty videos. So like I think people are getting really stuck on the quality over quantity.
No one remembers.
Huh?
No one remembers.
That's true. Let's see. Chase, Robert, what's up, Robert? A new client wants me to do the type of videos I don't do. Should I do them? I mean, can't answer that for you. I would just look at if the money's good and you're willing to try, then I would say yes. But if the money doesn't make sense, then I would say no. And also think about the repercussions of changing this. Because if you change the style for one client, are you going to have to do it for all your clients? And then do you have the internal bandwidth to be able to accompany that? You know, like it would be nice if every one of our clients did daily vlogs, but that's not going to happen. Let's see. Remy said, how much? Let's see. We don't do a ton of talking head no more. Mostly vlog style with a lot of service business. So there's natural hooks in day-to-day interactions and work to do. Yeah, Trey probably has really long files and a team that goes through and chops up the files and send those files to editors. That's what we do. So I'm assuming, I don't know your business, Trey, but I'm sure it looks something like that. Because that's like the only way you really can do that. Oh, hold on. We got some. Let's see. Blake, that makes sense. Thanks for noticing. The problem is I can do podcast clips, can't do do my stuff as well. Like, I think also a lot of, I mean, I may be generalizing, but a lot of people that are probably watching this are also not making content for themselves. The only difference between you charging $5,000 or $10,000 a month for your clients is your personal brand. If you have a personal brand, you will be able to charge more and get more clients. If you don't have a personal brand, it's hard to get clients. And you probably also have a high churn, because even if you did nothing more than day in the life videos, that's a retention strategy. Like your clients that you're working with will see your videos popping up day to day. They'll know if you have a kid. They'll know if you have a dog. They'll know what kind of car you drive. They'll know where you travel. They'll see if you're working with other clients. They'll see that you're actually busy. They'll see that you're actually doing stuff. And that's a huge retention strategy. So I would encourage everybody that I don't care how busy your workload gets, you prioritize your own account. Like I've done that since day one. I've treated myself as a client in the company. it gets tough at times. You got to put yourself in the back seat. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but at the end of the day, it's the best lead source you have. And it's the only way that you stand out, because if 100 people are in people's inboxes trying to get them to do podcast clips, but your page is proof that you can make videos that get views, or that you make videos and that you're cooler than the other guy from India who's spam messaging 100 inboxes a day, whose name is Mohammed, you're going to win. Because I think people would rather work with an American right now, because the ones that have worked with a lot of overseas, video editors, and there's not a knock on overseas video editors, but the cultural nuances, it's very difficult. They don't understand American culture, and videos that go viral understand American culture. It's very, very hard to work with a video editor and get a good quality video. And that's not saying that if you have bulk editors, we have VAs that work with us, but they're managed by a very handsome dude who puts out good videos. But there's a lot of back and forth. That's the, so it's you can't just trust that they're going to send you a video and that shit's going to be ready to post. It's just not. Awake Abroad said, what's your take on having niche accounts and making specific niche content? Have you seen faster follower growth and focus on niche or broad content? I would say yes. If you have a theme to your account, yes, your followers are going to be more rapid. But if you are a singular person, it is very hard to grow one account, let alone multiple accounts. So you got to pick one, go all in. And I would encourage people to go all in on their personal brand. I know I sound like every other content coach out there that's selling you a personal brand course, but we live in a time where your Instagram or your TikTok or your YouTube shorts, you can post any freaking thing on there. Do you sacrifice some follower growth for a niche, very defined account? Yes. But I would much rather have people that follow me for me than just follow me to learn video. It's a much stronger connection. Because if I want to have an event like we're having in May, which you're going to see some promotions about, I know people are going to come see me because they're going to learn about video, they're going to learn about business, they're going to learn about interviewing people, they're going to learn about how to do cool stuff that we do with videos, because I make all those style of videos. I'm not just a hook guy or a day in the life or a workout guy. I can make workout videos. People might come because they like that I do CrossFit. I don't know. But you can be very multifaceted on a personal brand, but it is harder to grow because they're following you for you. They're not following you for a specific thing. You might have certain videos that attract a lot of followers for a specific thing, but you have to expect that some of them might disappear after about 30 days. Because if you make a good day in the life, but you make other videos that they don't like that aren't day in the life, they might leave. But I'd much rather have a mass of people coming in and leaving than nobody coming in at all. Because it's I don't know what the good word for it is, but the people that you want to stick around, stick around. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Robert said he wants me to do videographer stuff, and I don't do that. I do podcasts and shorts, but I'm willing to try. I quit my job, so I'm open to having other stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, man, if you got to make money, you got to make money. So say yes and figure it out. There's nothing wrong with making money. All right. You're going to fuck some shit up. Make some mistakes. You might get a client mad, but I promise you, clients get mad. They get over it. Okay. And you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to admit to them.
You've said yes to a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I've said yes to a lot of stuff I shouldn't have. But if I didn't say yes to a lot of stuff, I wouldn't be who I am. So, yeah. But certain things don't make sense in the long term. And you'll learn that really quickly. You'll be like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this. But you should stick to your word and finish what you started. But also those things tend to just fall off. We are not we've tried to make ads for people. It didn't really pan out. The only thing I've never done is try to make long form content, but I get a lot of people that ask me that. I turned down a lot of money for that, but I'm not built for that. I don't have a team that's built for that. I would have to it'd be a lot more stress. So, but I'm also at a place where I can say no to things too. And I understand that not a lot of people are there, but there's so much power in saying no. I don't know. I need to say no more. I keep saying yes to shit. No problem, Robert. Kayla says, "Do you have any clients that use LinkedIn as their main lead generator? What type of content works best?" I regretfully, I am not great on LinkedIn. I do have a few people in my coaching group that focus on LinkedIn, and it's a huge lead generator for them. And they post very similar videos that they would post on all the other platforms. I should start my LinkedIn. Like, I know we've been talking about it, Luis. I'm like looking at Luis as if he already doesn't have 100 things to do. Like, but again, you're always going to have weak platforms. Right? You can't be everywhere at all times and be great on everything. Everybody has weak platforms. Eventually, you get to a point where, like, I think everything kind of equals out. But if you focus on LinkedIn, post 100 videos to LinkedIn, see what happens. You'll have a better answer than I would if you post 100 videos. Like, I'd probably pay you for advice. Like, let's see. But yes, LinkedIn's huge. I think people are going to LinkedIn to be entertained now too. I don't think it's only business content, but I could be wrong. If I don't post like 1 to 2 weeks, will it hurt the algorithm at some point? I still have a problem. Didn't have time to record any of my videos. If you're not consistent, I would wait till you can be consistent to start, because there is power in consistency. And what I mean by that is, like, build up a backlog of videos and then start posting them when you can not stop. Like, if you post 5 times a day for 7 days, what's that, 35 videos? But then you don't post again for another month, I would just say post 1 video a day for the next 3 months or 2 months. Post a video every other day. Keep the consistency going, because that shit's powerful. But I don't know. Like, some people, it's hard to tell. Some people post very infrequent and their videos do really well. I also think a lot of those people buy fake views, but I can't prove it. That's the beauty of Instagram. You can hide everything. So it makes it so hard. Like, there's a lot of dishonesty on Instagram.
Teach them editing stuff?
Sure. What am I going to teach them? What do you guys want to learn with editing?
Well, first of all, let them know what you got from the vlogging experiment.
Okay. Well, I'm not done with the experiment, Luis. I missed 4 days, and my own team's like, man, he's done.
You did 30 days.
Yeah. So later, Andrew. Well, actually, this is a perfect intro. Zep Tepe Creative says, what have you been using to vlog? Phone, mirrorless cam. This right here, my iPhone 15. And I have a few different things that I use. Actually, I thought I lost my tripod. I was like, oh man, that'd have been tragic. So my vlogging setup, and I can show some, is iPhone 15 with a MagSafe case, a pop socket. I can't operate without a pop socket. I feel like that's probably I don't want to say the G word on camera.
This one has been going viral on TikTok.
I couldn't even figure out how to use that thing, Luis. I'm not preaching that thing. Luis is trying to show me some tripod. This is a good addition. This is a Sennheiser Type-C. They have it for the non-Type-C for the people like Luis who don't upgrade their phones. This is a microphone that just plugs in, and I can go like this. This is not wireless. I don't use wireless on the vlogs only because it's slow. Like, if I'm vlogging, I want to just whip this thing out and start talking and get it. And this allows me to do that. It's literally a plug-in microphone. And I don't even use that all the time, because honestly, the iPhone microphone, when you're this close, is pretty fucking good. But this is also crucial. This is like a tripod. Obviously, it extends. It gets pretty tall because I'm a tall guy, but it's MagSafe. So it just goes like that. And I stand away from it with this little thing, or I get B-roll with this, and then I narrate with this. But that's there's a lot more things that I could do to get better vlogs. I fight the urge every day to buy a complete new camera to make them better. But this is it. I think this is maybe $80 in equipment. And I added up all my vlogs. So far, they've gotten almost 250,000 views. So 250,000 views for $80 and hours of editing. Because the hardest thing with vlogs is not filming, it's editing and getting the footage out there. But yes, it's very simple. Like that's it. And even sometimes I use my Beats because I have those connected and I just walk and talk. AirPods work the same way. I just like Beats. Because Ali Gilbert told me what was the Beats line?
Like you're probably a vegan if you wear.
I don't know. Ali Gilbert basically told me I was a pussy because I had AirPods. So I got Beats because a 5-foot tall shredded woman told me to. Love you, Ali, if you're watching this. But yes, this is a great addition, and literally you can get it off Amazon. This is a Ulanzi tripod. There's a lot of imposters, but Ulanzi. Yeah, I think it was like $40, and it has like a Bluetooth remote too. Never hooked that shit up. I don't even know how to use it. And then for editing software, I use ScreenFlow, which I can show you guys. But let's see.
Do you have a shot list when you film vlogs?
I can just show. Well, dang it. Hold on, guys. Let me transfer some of my vlog footage from this computer to. Bear with me. Bear with me. I gotta remember my. Louise, what's my password? Hold on. You guys, I mean, you guys are obviously video people and you make videos. It's really hard to change laptops. Like getting relogged into everything. It's just hell. Like it sucks. Well, here's a go. Actually, let me. Oh, I didn't even save that one. Hold on, guys. I'm going to transfer this so I can show my screen and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But I got to. Oh, I should have done this. I should have been more prepared. Luis just told me I was doing this 20 minutes ago. I'm just kidding.
2 weeks ago.
Anyways, while I'm doing this, let's see. iPhone is perfect for vlogging. Definitely agree with that. I mean, but here's the thing about the vlogging though. Like, I don't necessarily think the vlogging is going to go viral. You may get lucky and one does very well. For me right now, the vlogging is retention and to make money. Like, and I think that that's kind of shocking to some people because the more people know about you, the more they are influenced by you, the more they trust, like they know, like, and trust you, the more money you will make. And I have a sizable following already. On Instagram, it's like 120,000. I would consider that sizable, although I'm always trying to grow it. It was getting very confusing what my account was and what I did. So my way to combat that and to show the world what I do is to just show my day-to-day life, which also, you know, pat on my back, although busy, is interesting. But I'm not, like, I used to do shit like this when my life was really boring. Like, and I think people don't let being a boring life stop you from.
Who's your favorite guy?
Huh?
Hub's Life?
Yeah, Hub's Life. Hubs.life on Instagram was a huge inspiration. I think he makes his life boring on purpose. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this vlog. Let me airdrop it to myself. What do you know? My battery might die. Failing everybody right now, guys. Apology. Luis, don't accept that if it comes through. All right, hold on.
There's a fun question in there.
What's the question?
Like, what about I have an Android? Should I get an iPhone? Oh yeah, Blake. Second to last.
Man, I don't know why people buy Androids. Is the camera better? Arguably. But you know what's better than any camera? AirDrop. Like, and I know the Android people are like, "Dad, we have such and such." I'm like, it does not work as good as AirDrop. I promise you. MacBook computers, AirDrop, Mac infrastructure. Gamers can suck it because they're gonna argue with me. All right. Hold on, guys. I just got this to my computer. And I know I say that. Use what you have. Androids do have pretty good cameras. Like, I think that the camera technology, Samsung, It's a little bit farther than Apple. I will give them that. But the thing about vlogs is there's a lot of things you can do with them, but they got to get out. Like you got to post them. They got to get from your phone to your editing software to being posted. And that is a challenge because doing one every day is really hard. And I think, again, I'm a big proponent of doing things daily to build a habit. And even me, like I'm failing my own habit. The problem is I like drinking. And so I don't feel like editing my vlog if I've had drinks with my friends and family. So there's that. One would argue I should probably quit, and I probably should. But I'm not going to. At least not now. Minimize, yes. Stop, no. Anyways, I got this to my thing. Now I got to figure out how to share it. Hang on, guys. Luis, am I missing any questions while I'm doing this? Because this is
a fun one. Do you ever think about shooting vlog horizontal and going to YouTube like Casey and I said?
Yes and no. YouTube's just really hard. I'm a short form guy. Like, you okay there, Jay?
Yeah.
God, fell out of your chair there, sneezing. Bless you. On the horizontal aspect, like I would probably have to start another YouTube account that was dedicated to vlogging, and I would have to start. But honestly, it's just hard. Like filming every day is very hard. And then editing all of that into, I feel like editing that into most of my vlogs are like a minute to a minute 30 right now. It's very easy for me to do that. It's very hard for me to extend that into a horizontal 4-minute vlog or 5-minute vlog. Like I don't know if I have the capacity to do that. And that's respect to all the vloggers on YouTube because that shit's no joke. It's really hard. And my following right now is based like bang for buck. I make more money from Instagram and TikTok than I do from YouTube. So as a business owner and somebody who's looking at an ROI perspective, it makes sense for me to do it and focus on that. Is long-term on YouTube probably better? Yes. That's why, a lot of people don't know I have a secondary YouTube account called Attention Media Group. We're posting a lot of video editing tutorials over there. I'll probably put it in this video, but that is a video-centric account that I'm starting. And that is a themed account. And it's growing fast on my personal brand account because it's more niche-based. But I'm not like super excited all the time to post that stuff. I want to get it out there so it lives so I can help people. But I'm more excited about getting a free pair of shoes and flying to Vegas to film with them. Right? Because that's more creative and that wouldn't live on that channel. But to do vlogs about that on Instagram is pretty cool because also companies share things on Instagram. I don't know. I think speed to growing on Instagram is way easier. So hold on. I hope that was a long-winded answer there. So let's see. Window. All right. So this is, can we see my, all right. So actually, so I'll play this all the way through. This is the, if anybody saw this, I edited this or I filmed this, I drove to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This was my drive to a cabin. I literally spent 10 hours in a car. Or actually, this was actually over 2 days, which I combined into one day. I left at 6 p.m. to drive to Atlanta, Georgia, to eventually get to Gatlinburg, Tennessee the next morning. So it made sense to put these two together and make one vlog instead of having like it end when I get to Atlanta. And that's another thing too, like a lot of the vlogs, you want them to, similar to any video, you want it to encapsulate a story. Like for me, a vlog is a bookend. Like in this case, it was me driving and also in me getting to the cabin. Now the story is concluded. So I'll play this through so you can see this was 50 seconds and then I can show you guys the clips. But